Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. This is An Unlikely Coven by Kvita. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Look at that beautiful cover art. This is about Joan Greenwood, the youngest of a ruling family of witches who can't do magic. She can't do magic, her family can. When she returns home after 7 years away, she finds her indifferent relatives focused on a local debacle. A normal mortal has been turned into a witch by a spell. When her best friend gets involved in trying to help this hapless pawn, Joan can't help but get involved too. But the choice may mean choosing between biological family and found family. An Unlikely Coven is the first in a new series, and this is the author's debut novel. The book is urban fantasy set in a New York that the readers will recognize. But the world is ruled by witches, though they keep it hidden, and there are also vampires, ghosts, and other supernatural creatures. The book features a cast of characters that includes BIPOC and LGBTQ plus representation. The target audience for this book means that it's also young adult fiction. So the grammar and syntax in this one was really odd to me. On page 1, for example, we get this line. "This was no great surprise to Joan, but she had expected better anyways." First of all, that's bad writing. It's an ugly sentence, and I hate that it ends with anyways. What editor allowed that? But it's also horribly contradictory. If she was not surprised, then she hadn't expected better. And if she expected better, she would be surprised. So there's quite a lot of things like this throughout the book. It's also broken into acts for no reason other than makes it sound like a play, like it's not relevant. The book also lacks internal logic at times, featuring plot holes like this one. So Joan's family fail to... Is it Joan or Jean? Yeah, it's Joan. Joan's family fail to pick her up when she returns to town by train. But in the same chapter, just a couple pages later, she takes a magical teleportation system that has stops all over the world, including right by her ancestral home. So she can use that at any time. Why was she taking the train at all? Why did she need to be picked up? It doesn't make any sense. Again, this kind of thing happens a lot in this book, and it means that the book reads like fan fiction rather than a published novel. So I'm not alone amongst readers in noticing this trend creeping into books lately with bad writing, plot holes, and grammatical issues not being picked up by editors. And I don't like to call the authors out too much for this because it's on the editing teams who should be picking up on this. Sadly, this seems to be happening in books targeted at young adults most commonly, which I think is intentional, honestly. I think they think that people of that age group are not going to complain, maybe not going to notice or something, not going to know better. And yeah, we deserve good books. People of every age deserve good books that are finished properly and edited properly. But yeah, I think they're just banking on that age group not having the lifelong experience of reading widely to have developed that discernment yet to know better. And that kind of bothers me even more. So once you get past that issue, there are some okay bones to the book here. I liked some of the lead characters and their found family journey. I think they seem to be teenagers a lot more than adults. They're like asking permission and sneaking out, even though they're sort of meant to be in their like mid-20s. They've graduated from university. I liked the amount of diversity. I think the story world was fine. It was colorful and could be kind of cute sometimes, but it had its odd points. In this story, vampires live in packs, which, I mean, that's just an incorrect collective noun, but like, why? Why do they live in packs? There's also werewolves in these stories, I think. So it's like, what do they live in then? We're told that witches are the ruling class in this world, but the logic for why that is seems half-baked. When other supernatural creatures live longer than them or maybe even immortal, I'm not really sure how witches have I mean, they seem to have powers of their own at their disposal. I don't know why witches would be the ruling class. That said, I think the author was having fun mixing up the magical world with a cast of ghosts and people and witches and vampires and trying to be a bit whimsical. And honestly, I can get behind that impulse. So I don't want to be too pedantic about that. There's an odd internal logic that the Greenwood family are written about as though, you know, they're merely selfish or flawed, but mostly okay. Like Joan hasn't cut them off or she isn't afraid of them or anything like that. But then there are hints that they behave in ways that are kind of akin to something like the Medicis or the Borgias. And that's not cute. Like, that's not cute and funny and fuzzy and something you can look past. I mean, that's really not okay. So it's unclear in tone if we're meant to dismiss their truly evil acts the way that Joan does, or if they're really actually bad people, or, I mean, that just kind of, it was very lopsided. So taken as a whole, this needs editing and tightening up. Taken as a young adult book, I think it's probably going to maybe appeal to its target market, probably in ways that I don't understand, and that's totally fine. Some may find it cute and quippy, and if you do, that's brilliant. That's good fun, right? But I do think that a lot of people will have the same problems with this book that I do. And I also just think, you know, what's wrong with like being grammatically correct, and what's wrong with editing? I guess if you don't edit, then you save money, right? Maybe that's what it's all about. I don't know. Yeah, it's for you. If you think the story sounds appealing, it's for you. If you're looking for diverse characters in like a magical world, fantastic. You might like this one. But just be aware that it has its flaws. I think some of that is going to make the book, you know, not for everybody. But thank you to Hachette Book Group Canada, because they gave me the ARC of this book to read and share with you guys. And thank you for watching. Have you read this one? Have you noticed a lack of editing in books? I know it's sort of getting talked about more and more out in the sort of book talk, bookstagram space. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next one.